And this is what we learned. Partnership is what this is all about. And there is no better partner in this fight than Senator Booker. So thank you, Senator Booker. So let's get back. I want to talk some more about Trump, Elon Musk, and Secretary McMahon, 3 billionaires who are going to rewrite public education and access to post-high school education. They are dismantling the Department of Education, and the entire claim is that they are doing it for efficiency. They want a more efficient system. In fact, Secretary McMahon has said that she can fire half of the staff at the Department of Education without programs, quote, falling through the cracks. Get rid of half the people and the programs won't fall through the cracks. Now look, most Americans think that doesn't pass the smell test. This is not likely to work. Remember, these are the federal workers who run the financial aid programs for working class families. These are the workers who make sure that students with disabilities actually have someone to help them so they can be part of the educational system. But Secretary McMahon keeps on repeating this argument, so I want to spend some time today just testing it out a little bit. Now, the first place to go to test it is with DOJ, because DOJ has already said she's wrong. They have admitted this because they've said service will get worse with these cuts. According to a recent report, a DOJ staffer at the Department of Education said, and I quote, "I understand there has been significant work done to improve customer service at the Department of Education. However, we need now to let go of the Cadillac service and opt for the Toyota." So let's just take a quick look at that. Ms. Alicia, you work with people every day who are trying to deal with student loan debt. You're an advisor and a finance educator. Do you think that Americans before the cuts are getting Cadillac treatment from the Department of Education?
No. In fact, I think the Cadillac can be qualified as a lemon. I stand before you representing 2 million women, mostly, in this country. And one of them, LaShawn, she shared that her current student loan repayments are $2,000 a month, more than her mortgage. Yeah. She is drowning, and she's been doing everything to try to lower that. She's been on hold for hours at a time, has not been able to reach anyone when it comes to her servicer. She's emailed, she's filled out forms online. She is drowning, and so much so that her youngest daughter is ready to start college, and instead of being excited for her, she's afraid because she doesn't know how she's going to be able to afford that.
Right. So, Ms. Luttrell, until recently, you were a top-ranking official at the Education Department. Elon Musk has cut federal student aid staffing by 20%. Reportedly, DOJ wants to cut the department's budget for student loan servicing, that's what we're talking about here, by 60%. So will cutting the budget for student loan servicing by 60% increase efficiency at the Department of Education?
As you can hear from the laughing, yeah. I think everyone in this room knows absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Say a bit more about what's going to be the impact of a 60% cut or even a 20% cut. Ms. Alicia has given us kind of where it starts, right? How much people were already struggling to get help when they had a problem with their student loans.
Yeah, FSA was already understaffed and underfunded, and these cuts are just going to make things worse. Longer hold times, longer timelines to get answers from their complaints, less or currently no oversight of the student loan servicers that take their money each month.
Yeah, that one is a stunner, isn't it? I just make sure everybody's following this. The student loan servicers have been repeatedly found to have misrepresented to students, misled students, failed to do the billing correctly. I mean, just the basics of what it takes to do a loan, just over and over and over, because they don't want to spend the money to do it. They have also been found, some of them, to have actually deliberately steered borrowers into the wrong programs because it made more money for the servicer than the program that was best for the borrower. So this stuff is all documented. It's been out there for a long time, and that was true when they at least had some oversight. And the current plan now, in fact, what they've done is, you were just saying, Ms. Luttrell, what's happened to the people who are overseeing the student loan servicers?
They've all been fired.
Yes, they've all been fired. So I hope everyone's feeling better now. I'm sorry, Ms. Luttrell, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
President Trump and the DOGE team have created a race to the bottom among the student loan servicers,
Yeah.
and the only people that suffer from that are student loan borrowers.
Okay. So that's what we're talking about here. You cut the staff and you get rid of the people who do oversight, and what was already a problem, a bad problem in student loan servicing, becomes worse. Now, Linda McMahon says she has a solution for that, and that is she's considering replacing the call centers where your friend or the person who had consulted with you was on the phone. Did you say 4 hours?
She said just for hours and hours.
Hours and hours. She wants to replace those call centers, or is considering replacing those call centers, with AI chatbots. So instead of having financial aid experts reviewing complaints and responding to borrowers, she wants ChatGPT to do the job. Ms. Snyder, let me let you take this one. You were a student loan borrower for many years. I think it's a veteran is the right person to take this one on. If you had a problem with your loans, for example, the loan shows up twice in your credit report, would you want an AI chatbot to respond rather than a real person?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
You know, I hear this analogy between we want to give Cadillac service, but it's a Toyota. In my opinion, it is a skateboard with either broken or squared wheels.
Yeah.
You know, to me, when I'm using or when I'm listening to an artificial being trying to answer a question, well, what if there's a question that I need to answer? This AI bot is not going to answer that question for me. Or what if the answer that I need is just a short, quick, answer? And what I find with, being on the phone with the artificials, I think sometimes I'm on the phone longer than it takes for me to get my issue resolved. And a lot of times the issue is never resolved. And so, no, I'm not for AI at all. I think it's ridiculous.
I just want to say about this to remind everyone, anyone who has never been through student loan hell, and I'm going to assume that's not Donald Trump, not Elon Musk, and not Linda McMahon, that the consequences of not getting good advice when you're having a problem with your student loan can be enormous. It can mean being put in the wrong loan program, which can cost not just thousands of dollars, but literally tens of thousands of dollars. It can mean not getting a program you can manage and make your monthly payments every month, and instead you fall into default. And from there, your problems just snowball. So your credit rating goes to hell, and then everything is more expensive. Harder to rent an apartment, impossible to take out a mortgage, more expensive to get a car loan, even your insurance can cost more because your credit rating has gone down. So we're not just talking about inconvenience or even hours on the phone. We're really talking about the difference between people getting the help so that they just get what they're legally entitled to. People who say, I will do my best to pay my loan, but help me understand where it is, fix the problem. You've failed to account for my latest payment. You've got me confused with somebody else. Trying to straighten out those problems. And no surprise, 3 billionaires don't think that is a part of the responsibility that running the student loan program is all about. The number of people who will get hurt by these decisions to make cuts at the Department of Education will be measured ultimately in the millions. And for some, they will never even know what went wrong. All they will know is they can't put their lives back on track, all because 3 billionaires thought this was a good idea and would produce a little more money for tax cuts. For who? For the billionaires. So thank you on this. Let me call on